Okay, we're here today to develop our campaign theme. Our goal is to reach out to Democratic, Republican, and Independent voters while unmistakably differentiating our campaign by cleaving hard edges against Democratic and Republican politicians. 2021 congressional candidate, what say you? What matters is that we correctly brand the Libertarian Party for the benefit of down-ballot candidates and future candidates in a way that our past presidential campaigns have not, based on libertarian principles, no compromise, and explain how these transformational policies affect Americans' everyday lives. White House economist, you worked on big-time presidential campaigns in the past. What say you? It's true that building our brand is the objective, and the way to do that is to run a professional, nationwide campaign that clears the threshold of credibility that voters, big donors, and media require for us to be competitive. And make no mistake, we must be competitive to get the type of attention that our ideas deserve. I say we hit the biggest issues hard: government spending, taxes, the cost of living, and inflation. Economics professor, what say you? It's true that economic issues are our bread and butter, but America is ready for a real anti-war message. It's high time someone told the truth. And the truth is that our government's global warring is not only unethical and expensive, but as a strategic matter, an utter failure. Having taught international finance and international trade, I feel strongly that the world economy would benefit from a profoundly different U.S. foreign policy, including free trade for a change. Slow down there, Professor. What people are interested in is making money for themselves and for their families, but not for the whole world. Having an MBA and a degree in engineering, I know how the economy works. I say we focus on the individual and keep it domestic. Having earned 2 more graduate degrees after we were done with your career, and having traveled 35 countries, I can tell you that America's reputation is in the toilet. I sent my daughter to train in Hong Kong, and together we traveled everything from London to Milan. I sent my son to train in Jordan, and we traveled everything from Morocco to the Palestinian territories. Together, we traveled India, China, and Latin America. I can tell you that Americans care about the world. We have kids. A lot has happened since we were in our 20s, and they care about their communities. People are waking up to the fact that many of our biggest problems are the result of bad public policy at the local level. Whole communities have been devastated by a ruthlessly counterproductive war on drugs combined with the world's most oppressive criminal justice system. Bad schools as the result of our government monopoly at the local level, bad welfare policy, bad housing policy, bad zoning policy. Remember, persistent intergenerational poverty is a political construct, and that's where our focus should be, on the community. Are you a cop? Did we become a cop? You're damned right we became a cop, and it wouldn't have hurt you to have dedicated some of all that energy to something greater than yourself in your 20s. Remember, I know what you did. Just because it was illegal, don't make it unethical. You got that right. I built a successful business out of nothing but guts and hard work. The backbone of this nation is an entrepreneurial spirit that can only be unleashed by reducing the government's control over our economy. It's time to stop the endless regulations and stupid rules. I was the one in the trenches engaged in hand-to-hand combat with the regulators, so I know a thing or two about bad government agencies. And I spent a lot of years in Washington after leaving the White House advocating for freer markets, more competition, and less regulation. We missed a big opportunity in 2020 with the COVID tyranny. What's COVID? A lot of weird stuff has happened since we were in our 20s. People are still pissed, and they should be. And now mask mandates are coming back. He's right. We should focus on the government taking away our right to make decisions about our own bodies. Only Nancy should be allowed to tell us what to do with our body. Who's Nancy? Aren't we all saying the same thing? Congressional candidate, you've gone door to door. Isn't it true that as a matter of principle, Our party aligns with the values of real Americans better than the other parties do. Absolutely. Police officer, I've heard you say it 100 times. Isn't the goal to restructure the system and end qualified immunity? Because to Americans, a lack of accountability is unethical. It's un-American. White House economist, aren't you really saying that all these taxes and all this spending fail to align with Americans' values of limited government? Social Security is an evil affront to Americans. Professor, isn't the most fundamental problem with the U.S. government's foreign policy that it fails to align with the principles of real Americans? Now you're getting it. Entrepreneur, you said it just now. It's the ethic of the American spirit that's being suppressed by the government. They're trying to suppress the future of America. The simple dignity of being able to raise your family the way you see fit has been taken from you by a group of powerful people who see no reason to respect our values. Banker, you know it's about American principles, right? Yeah, the principle of making money. Then it's settled. This election is not going to be about small things. Our principles, our ethics, our values better align with real Americans than the command and control attitude of the political class. Our libertarian principles are American values.